What's up, gamers? We are back with more Starfield, picking up right where we left off. We are getting back today to the UC Vanguard faction quest. This is the one we're working on. I've got 3 options to clear Percival's debt. Pay it myself, break into the Trade Authority to reduce the amount, or clear out the deep mines and collect some research for Cambridge. We're going with that third option. Seems to be the most beneficial one of them all to choose. I sort of talked about my decision-making progress in the last video, so you can check it out there if you're curious how I came to that choice. So in between videos, I did do some stuff. I went back to Vectera, to the... I don't think it was actually Vectera. It was... Ancelon? I'm totally misremembering the name. Let me just zoom out to my map real quick. I'll give you the skinny. It's the Narian system. Crete, right. As soon as I saw it, I got... So, Vectera, which is the planet you start the game on, is orbiting the gas giant Ancelon. And there's another moon of Ancelon called Crete. And Crete's where you have to, like, at the beginning of the game, you have to go deal with the pirate captain who's sort of the leader of the Crimson Fleet in this area, and convince them to stop going after the frontier. They think there's, like, some treasure on the frontier, but there's nothing there worth taking, so you can either kill them or convince them, depending on your playstyle. But the interesting thing about this is the facility on Crete. It's called the Crete Research Lab. It's actually a top secret United Colonies facility. This is Freestar Collective Space, but the United Colonies had a secret laboratory here where they were doing xenoweapons research. And because what we're working on right now for the UC Vanguard is deeply tied to xenoweapons research and terramorphs and all that, I thought maybe it might be linked. So I went back to that facility and I went and I looked at the computer entries that I was remembering. And they do talk about the Red Devils and the Red Devils' involvement in the Xeno warfare research, and about even, you know, attempting to use a terramorph for Xeno warfare, which failed. That was a bad idea, as it turns out. But this scientist, Percival, and the new lady scientist whose name I can't remember. We just met her in the last video, or 2 videos ago, and I don't remember what her name is right now. We're trying to deliver this sample to the scientist, Percival, on her behalf, so we'll get a reminder soon enough about what her name was. Sorry for being so bad at remembering names in this game. But anyway, here we are. We're at the spacer, the deep mines, rather, where the spacers have taken over and are causing trouble and making it so that they can't finish these experiments they were doing. I came here and immediately got into combat with the spacers that were on the outside of this mine. So I did kill all the, like, spacers that were just around here. Between videos, nothing exciting happened. It wasn't anything story related, just some combat. And I haven't gone into this actual place yet. The deep mine is there's a loading screen door here to take us into the deep mine. So I was like, what am I doing? Why am I clearing this place out off camera? I need to be recording this. So I, saved my game and figured I would pick things up here when we resumed, and here we go. We just need to find and kill the spacer leader down here. It shouldn't take too long to just clear this place out. We're a bit over-leveled for this planet, so... I've got my fiancée, Andrea, with me. Very interesting. So I'd been calling her Andrea the
Remain
entire
alert.
game.
Best to assume we have not seen the last of these spacers.
And then I think it was Sarah Morgan or someone from Constellation was calling her Andrasia. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess her name is Andrasia. I've been mispronouncing it the whole game. And then, yesterday evening, between videos, I stumbled upon this Subnautica, like, discussion.
You have made a grave mistake.
And that name, as it's spelled, is like of Slavic origin. And it's actually pronounced Andrea. So I've actually been pronouncing it correctly the entire time. And the article I read made like a note of how, you know, even though it's pronounced Andrea, all the members of Constellation mispronounce it. I thought that was really funny. So, I mean, that's why I got confused about it, because I heard members of Constellation saying Andrea, and I was like, oh, have I been screwing up the whole game? But I guess not, actually. Like, I've been fine. It's, oh god, I'm gonna actually die here. It occurs to me, I came in here with really low health and then just never healed before getting deep into the combat here. There we go, now I can actually see who we're fighting. When it's poorly lit, that Starfield power is just a godsend. Seeing what I'm trying to deal with enemy-wise. Yeah, I'll take a refined AA-99. Actually, is that spacesuit? No, I don't need to be looking at spacesuits and stuff anymore. In fact, I don't know why I'm looting any weapons at all. Alright, so we got a couple down over there. Obviously, the leader is that blue dot. I think that's it. I think we're just being shot at from really far away. I'm gonna drop in on these guys. Ooh! Ooh, I just took so much damage. Something must have exploded near me. I don't think I've ever seen my character take that much damage that fast before. That was intense. I think I'm getting shot at by the target himself at this point. I don't see anyone else. I mean, to be honest, I don't even see this guy. Who is shooting at me? Who is that right there running a marathon? I mean, Andrea's here with me. Or Andrea. I gotta get used to going back to calling her Andrea, which I think is actually how that name would be pronounced. So I'm gonna try to switch back now. Andrea. I was instinctually pronouncing it correctly for most of this game. And then I got gaslit by Sarah Morgan. It's a mispronouncing her name.
Go ahead, leave, coward. Who's that?
That was a wacky death. You see that? I hit his jetpack and it sent him flying. Oh, there are quite a few spacers down here. I didn't expect to see such a firefight. Holy crap, look at all of them. You're Andrea, right? Ooh! Almost died again. Goodness. They got those bullets that burn me after they hit me. Damage over time. Ooh, I'm getting hit hard. I am still playing this, if anyone's curious, it's been a while since I've talked about the difficulty setting. I am still playing this on very hard difficulty. I think we can definitely handle that at this point in the game. I don't think I'll be changing it. Like, even if I struggle a bit with certain combat encounters, I don't think I'll be changing that back, ever. I think we're definitely going to be on very hard for the rest of the playthrough. We got plenty of trauma packs and med kits and emergency kits and stuff. I don't anticipate needing down the difficulty for any reason.
Last night was enlightening. I hope to learn more next time.
What exactly is she talking about? Excuse me, Andrea, excuse my god. Nothing happened last night because we, in order to continue living, we're wearing our spacesuits, so I don't know what you're implying. I'm glad it was an enlightening experience for you. Huddling up on a bunk with me in our spacesuits, but... That's so funny. I guess now that we're engaged, she's sleeping in the same bed. Did I see like a different buff come up too? Oh yeah, emotional security instead of well rested, which you usually get from sleeping, which gives you a 10% XP gain bonus. We have emotional security, which gives 15%. It looks like it's maybe a 25-minute buff. I don't remember what the well-rested buff duration was, but I want to say like 15 minutes maybe. So I think the duration's also better. So about this spacer leader. Ooh, hello. Varun Scripture 10. Permanently increase sneak bonus by an additional 1% and melee sneak attack damage by an additional 5%. Don't mind if I do. Well, I was barely paying attention searching this place, so it's a bona fide miracle that I found that magazine. You know, I fully admit I'm a little bit unsure. You know what this reminds me of? I think this might be the same layout as the first base that we did as part of the Freestar Collective mission. It's really big. It's like enormous.
Hard to believe anyone found this to be a profitable exercise. Clearly it did not remain so.
Well, we're gonna make it profitable again, Andrea. We're gonna get the miners back in these mines.
Someone or
earning a living.
something will clean up whatever's left behind.
Andrea's just like, yeah, just leave the corpses there. I don't know what else she expected me to do. This is actually, this is definitely a different layout than the first base. But it's definitely, like intensely complex. I don't think I've ever seen this particular cave layout before. Oh, he's called a Spacer Myth. I don't know if I've ever seen that rank of... Oh, I got him though, did I? My quest updated, I think. Quite a few elites in this final room. Oh, Andre, you scared me. An advanced hard target? I actually think I will take that. I've been looking for a hard target upgrade for ages. I even stopped carrying the hard target I had because it was so so bad compared to the other guns I had. Oh crap, I just picked up something I didn't mean to. Mercenary power pack, yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, out of here. Were there not more bodies here? Thought I killed like 3 or 4 elite troops back here. It'd be really nice if we could like clean up the enemies here so I can focus on looting. Alright, Andrea, did you get them all? Can I search things again? Huh. I'm a little bit confused. I bet if I look at my quest, I'll stop being confused. I've put down the Spacer's leader in the deep mines. Now to phone up to Cambridge so I can finish his research. Right. He said to use the intercom system in the mines. Right, and it looks like it's right over here. Okay. We'll deal with these 2 remaining red dots. Red dot number 1. Oh god, something just blew up. I will say the amount of things that explode and the amount of times the enemy AI just specifically aims for explosive things in this game is aggravating. There's way too much of it. Oh look, this is gonna be my shortcut back to the surface. Like just every combat situation I get into, it's sometimes ridiculous like how many explosions there are just back to back to back. My screen just shaking, my controller vibrating out of my hands. Like actually to the point where it's nonsensical. I mean, I think the root of the problem is that they give the enemies infinite grenades. And then in addition to that, they make half of the environmental objects explosive. And it just leads to just chains of explosions. Alright.
Hello? Oh, took care of the spacers, huh? Oh, good. Now to finish off the
sure
research,
did.
you're gonna need to collect a sample of hematite to run through the thresher. Grab a laser cutter and head back to the chamber where you came in. Once you've got a sample, Thresher's the big machine in the next room. Passcode to start it is Ares 2330. Take care of all that, and we'll have Percival's name cleared in no time.
Okay. Alright, go get the sample, run it through the thresher, Ares 2330. Oh, he said in the first room you came in, and I was like, Well, I've got my sample, but like also... Yeah, here we go. It's like an ultra rare resource that is only available from this planet and from these specific mines, so I don't know that there's any other use cases for it besides this quest. But I do want to collect as much as the game's gonna let me. Because why not? I could collect rare minerals. Calamite's another one that's like that. You only find it in the chambers where the artifacts are. But Calamite actually has applications beyond that. Like if you want to add any like stealth tech to your suit or anything like that, you need the Calamite, and it's like super rare. You have to remember the places you got it. Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to remember that that beginning cave on Vectera has it, but I apparently never searched this room. Oh, I did search this. I just didn't look on the other side of the room, apparently. Oh, I didn't want that 0G gimbal. Hold on. Okay. Deposit sample.
Accepted. Initiating analysis.
Oh man,
Count
the way I was
complete. Adding to existing notation. Collating. Process complete. You may collect your documentation.
All right, I'm collecting my data. Oh, nice, I can actually read it. Project analysis abstract aqueous hematite, a byproduct of the long-term human presence on Mars, combined with the planet's natural mineral composition, has long been disregarded as garbage, a mark of the wasteful legacy of our predecessors. But like many assumptions about our forebears, it couldn't be further from the truth. The analysis continues on for hundreds of more pages, very quickly delving into highly complex technical documentation. Okay, so now we should be able to go talk to the trade authority guy and like trade this data to clear the debt. I don't know how I feel about that, but the Red Devils guy convinced me it was the play because he said it would help the miners find more work on Cydonia, and I'm all for that. So. Let me just check my quest log real quick. I've collected Percival and Cambridge's research. I should phone up to Cambridge to see what he wants me to do with it. Oh. And that's why we checked the quest log. I was like, why is it telling me to go over this way?
All set? Good. You can take the elevator in that room back to the surface. There should be a key stashed in the thresher room, if the spacers didn't make off with it. I'll be waiting at the circle.
Okay. Now I'm gonna feel really embarrassed for not seeing like a key that's apparently in this room. Oh, thank you, quest marker, for highlighting it. Gonna give this room another like look over, since I've apparently missed so much. Goodness. Okay, good enough. Okay. Where am I exactly? Oh, this is so interesting. This exit is like far away from the place I just was. Can't even see it. This building just exists to be your exit from that dungeon. But yeah, anyway. Time to return this research to Cambridge back at the 6th circle. I'm kind of like a little confused about this. I thought we were going to be like trading this information for clearing Percival's debt, but it seems like Cambridge wants us to check in with him in person before doing that. So let's just follow the quest directions and not question things so much. You may need to do something with the data to make it presentable for the trade authority. I don't know. Maybe he's planning on taking care of it for me and bringing it to the trade authority and trading it for Percival's debt on his own, which I'm fine with. Like, however they want to do it. I'm just jumping through these hoops so I can actually speak to Percival and give him the terramorph sample that I've been lugging around. It's like the fate of the whole settled systems is hanging in the balance, and I'm doing science experiments and stuff for some washed up Marines, but uh-oh. Well, the good news is we definitely got an autosave when we exited the mines. But the bad news is the game definitely just crashed. So hang on, gamers. I will be right back. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. I'm back. Loading back into the game right now. Just a small hiccup. It's my fault. I mean, I used quick resume again, which I feel like I've learned my lesson so many ways and so many times by now. It's just my own fault at this point. If I like that, Starfield does not play nice with Xbox's quick resume feature at all. Seems whatever memory leaks still exist in the Starfield code, they just compound while the game continues running for quick resume. So. Let's try this loading screen again, shall we? This time, preferably, no crashes. Good news is the game's going to load like really slick for the rest of the video because we did a hard restart. Which is what I should be doing before I start every video, but I'm always just so excited to get back into this game that I forget very, very often.
The UC Exchange is a great place to buy your weapon.
Oh, right. So the trade authority's like computer where I can hack the debt to a smaller amount is up there, and then I can go in and just pay off his debt. But neither of those are the things we're going to do. Actually, I don't need to take the elevator, right? I can just do this, right? Oh, wait, am I wrong? Is this not where I thought it was? Oh, no, it is. It is. All right, Cambridge, I'm back.
Slate. Let me see. Reduced joint wear? Oh, increased lifting capacity. A dose of this stuff could make a miner way more efficient. This formula's got to be worth at least as much as whatever Percival owes. Okay, so here's what you do. Tell Octai and the Trade Authority you found a business proposal that will make miners more efficient, higher yield, synergy, you know, all that business crap. And that you'll trade it to him for clearing Percival's debt. You good at doing pitches and stuff like that?
Why, I could sell ice to a cold guy. Okay, it's not my forte. You don't want me to ask for money?
You can try if you feel confident, but I didn't want to push our luck. Besides, if that drug gets big, I think everyone benefits. So, you think you can sell them on
That's what led me down this path. I can give it a whirl, sure.
This is gonna be great. Oh, and here, a copy of the formula for yourself, in case you ever want to try maximizing your own industrial output. Oh, use that if you can. Good luck.
It's kind of awkward that he just turns to face the wall like that. He's getting ready to lean up against it, I guess. Right. So I may be totally off base about this, but I think it's gonna like improve my negotiating position if I hack into the Trade Authority's systems to reduce the debt first. I don't know that that's gonna make any difference. It might actually do the opposite of help. And in fact, I don't have the quest marker for that anymore, so it might be very, very difficult to do.
They're going to let me pitch my presentation every time I see those.
But nonetheless, I've never explored in the area back here where it advised I should go for this.
Okay.
Back here,
Hello.
right? Oh god, hold on. Goodness, why is it suddenly so crowded in this bar? It never usually is. Yeah, here we go.
Only employees of Naval Star Yard's mining division are authorized to mine resources in and around Sidonia. It is your civic duty to report any unauthorized mining to Sidonia Security.
Interesting. I mean, I've never been up here
wonder
before.
if anyone knows the overall tonnage that has been mined from this planet and launched into space.
I don't know, Andrea. I bet we could figure that out with gravity readings or something like that. Yes, yeah, I have a feeling in there is where I need to go to do the thing. That security guard that's standing there is giving me pause. It doesn't say I'm trespassing, so that usually means I can just go do the thing without getting in trouble, but
That malfunction.
Ever been to Aquila? Those security uniforms are way cooler than anything we've got.
Red and orange. Everything's red and orange as far as the eye can see. It can start to wear on you.
interesting. So they were completely unperturbed with me heading back here. I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking for. And this may just be a case of, like, without the quest marker, I'm just never going to find the thing. Ooh, but this feels very promising. Very notably not a crime to pick this lock. I'm not sure why I crouched down like I was going to get caught. But, better safe than sorry, I guess. I feel like someone could get upset with me doing this.
Hope you can succeed at that before we are discovered.
I want to relax, Andre. You're such a drama queen sometimes. Alright, so, but taking stuff from this room is stealing, so we'll not do that. Accounts computer. Lucivedra. Open orders, end of orders, account status awaiting delivery. Charles Flynn. Recent orders. All delivered, end of orders. Account status paid in full. Percival Walker. Wow, he owes 21,867 credits. Account override tool. Oh, I think the guy gave me some advice about this. Hold on. I'm just gonna do one more save just in case, like, this totally screws up this quest. I feel like the bartender was like, don't reduce it to 1 or something like that. It'll be super obvious it was tampered with. But I'm gonna do that though. Now he just owns 1 credit. That would have been hilarious for me to set to 1 and then walk in there like, I'll pay his debt, and the dude looks it up in the computer, is like, 1 credit, really? Alright, well. Got about the strongest negotiating position I could have. Offering some invaluable data. What is going on here? Do you see this? They're all specialists that you can recruit on your ship, but like, why are there so many here? What is going on? It's actually insane. Oh, Neva meetup evidence? Oh yeah, because he's not here anymore.
Neva,
What?
sit down, have a drink. So, smooth jump into the Soul system? UC security hassle you?
Cut the crap, Adler, and let's make this quick. There's only so long I can stand a stink of minor sweat and stale beer.
Okay, take it easy. Here's the fleet's kickback, just like I promised.
What is this bullshit? This is half of what you promised.
No reason to get upset, sweetie. Security around Sidonia's been cracking down, and it's tough to get the Deimos marks to play ball. That means I'm spending big on bribes, covering lost shipments. This isn't exactly like running a pharmacy out here, you know.
2 things, Adler. And I will make this simple enough so even a total imbecile like yourself can understand. 1,
It's funny
don't
hearing
give a damn
Neva
about
give
your
Adler a hard
excuses.
time.
You owe us the agreed amount on time every month. And 2, you call me sweetie ever again, and I'll shove my knife so far up your ass that people will mistake you for a unicorn.
Okay, sorry, Neva. I'll make it work. Here's the rest.
That's more like it. I'll see you in a month.
That's hilarious. I can't believe I missed that all this time. Well, I guess we got one more piece of posthumous evidence to turn into the UC Vigilance when we get a chance. Yeah, I got distracted by. I'm glad I got distracted because it made me.
You can make a really good
notice
living
that,
making the mines here, of course.
This here's the most important.
This is insanity. This must be some kind of bug or like they did like an update for the game where they increased the number of like generic specialists that you can find in a bar.
Pardon?
Howdy.
Maybe every time I come here they spawn in like 3 more.
Yes?
And when I don't hire them, they just keep stacking up. That's crazy though. I was remarking on the crowds before, but I wasn't really
How's the saying go?
paying attention to them. Not really. But like taking a look back at that room and just seeing the sea of people, I was like, this is not right. Something crazy going on. I don't like blaming everything on the bug, so maybe that was an intentional update to the game. I don't know. I don't freaking know. Why did I come back down here, by the way? I need to be going into the Trade Authority, right? So did that screw up my quest already, by the way? I adjusted Percival's debt amount to something more reasonable. Now to collect those credits from Lou. But my objective still says use Cambridge's data to clear Percival's debt. So did I screw that up?
Used to think
I
I was
don't
Vanguard material.
think I did. Let's just, instead of fighting my way back up there, let's just take the loading screen up. I've got that save game in case I need to not adjust the
Was
debt.
there something else?
How much does Percival owe you? He's going to say he doesn't know again. Oh, it's actually 1 credit. I have it on good authority. I have a business proposal for you, a lucrative one.
I'm never one to turn away an opportunity, but I'd be curious what you think you've uncovered in the Martian market that others have missed.
A chem made from aqueous hematite. I call it pick-me-up. I mean, I haven't patented it. So that's a weird sentence to use. A chem made from aqueous hematite. I call it pick-me-up.
Aqueous hematite, iron and wastewater. Well, I'm not surprised no one has proposed something like this before.
And exactly what does this new drug of yours do?
Makes your miners more efficient. I've got the data here to prove it.
An interesting proposal, if your data pans out. But where's this hematite coming from? The active mines would be too expensive to retool. The deep mines could be an option, but they're full of spacers. Or so I've heard.
I've already cleared them out. Won't cost you a credit to get started.
Well now, that is intriguing. A completely untapped resource pool, and the sort of utility every mining firm in Sidonia would be clamoring to get their hands on. We could contract out all the actual lab work, bring on one of the hungrier mining concerns for materials, the licensing fees alone. And think what it would do for our image with the general populace. This mine, reopened thanks to the Martian Trade Authority. Very interesting indeed. And what do you want for the rights to this drug?
I want you to clear Percival's debt.
Dr. Walker's dead? That's it? Consider it wiped. Well, it seems we have a deal then. And here, a finder's fee from the authority. A perfectly reasonable amount for a discovery with this sort of potential. Wouldn't want you feeling shortchanged down the road. We'll just be taking that slate before you have any second thoughts. It was a pleasure doing business with you, Captain.
Subterranean particle detonation imminent. Be advised to secure loose articles and find stable ground or remain seated in the event of unforeseen tremor.
Right, we'll just jump back down.
In 5, 4.
This is definitely the quickest
3,
way down, even if it's not the
2,
quickest way up.
1. Particle detonation concluded. It is now safe to resume normal activity.
Just waiting for the noise to end before I interact with another NPC. Woo! I've got good news. I took care of Percival's debt to the trade authority.
Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Was also going to warn you about spacers down there. But it sounds like you might have already tossed those dregs. Here, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down.
Okay. Time to find Percival. Sounds like we might be going back to that same location we cleared the spacers out from. Deep Mines employee exit. Yes, please.
No organics here. Valuable minerals, perhaps.
It's Mars, Andrea. We're still on Mars. There's a whole city here. That's why we're here. Let's get a little reminder. Lou says I can find Percival in the old Red Devil's headquarters. He gave me a key that will allow me to get through the deep mines to reach it. Alright, yeah, so this is exactly back where we left off in the deep mines. But apparently there's some, like, I knew this place was huge looking. And we'd only scratched the surface, but sounds like there's another passage this way. Oh yeah, that we need the key to open this door, so guess I went the right way. Makes sense for the Red Devil's headquarters to be in the deep mines because they were all former miners, as we learned. Big scary pit of death. Oh, I see. There's like a legit path if I want to be safe.
This could well explain why the site was abandoned. These natural caverns likely were not worth the risk of traversing.
Oh, interesting take, Andrea. Yeah, they definitely, not easy to traverse. Give you that. Something about this is making me unsure that we're gonna find this scientist alive. I sure hope we do. Oh, more aqueous hermitite. Nice. Jesus, Dre, I could have taken your leg off. You gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, girl. Is this all aqueous hematite? Yeah. Let's load up. See, remember I was talking about how I wasn't sure there'd be any application for this. I'm pretty sure we just unlocked a pharmaceutical recipe from doing that quest the way we did. And there's no doubt in my mind that that recipe requires aqueous hematite, because that was the whole, like, canon explanation for it being useful. Now, we haven't really used chems in this playthrough, except for on a few rare occasions. But, yeah, it would seem there is, like, a use outside of this quest for it. I mean, it's directly tied to this quest, but... since it can only be found here on Mars in these caves, I'm gonna grab as much as I can while I'm here. Doesn't even count as one of the 4 resources on Mars.
This must be the place. Power is still on, at least partially. Shall we see if anyone is home?
They played the big set piece Starfield music that they do whenever they think they've revealed something amazing. I mean, this is pretty cool looking, but like, really? It's just been so long since I've heard that like musical crescendo. It felt kind of out of place for what seems like a minor part of a faction quest, but okay. Red Devil's headquarters, exciting and plot relevant, so, you know, it's fine. Ooh. There's a bunch of it down there. I'm not gonna be able to get it from here. But I definitely don't want to jump down that hole right now, so... it can wait. We'll do some crazy hole jumping on our way back through. I'm not sure which way this game wants me to approach this structure. Apparently not this way. Okay then. This way then, I assume? I mean, I'm going in this building, aren't I? Huh. My quest marker's leading me this way, so I'm gonna follow it.
So you must be the one who got me out of the red with the Trade Authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor.
Oh. Oh, I guess this is the way that I was supposed to approach. Did I come in here and think it was a dead end and give up? I may have. Let's talk to the
Now
man.
you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts?
His personality reminds me a little bit of Barrett's. Dr. Walker, I've got a tissue sample I need analyzed. Full workup. No, he's not going to like me just like asking for a favor out the gate. You know how long it took me to find you? Take this damn sample. No. I'm here to make a delivery for an old colleague of yours. Hadrian Sanan. That's the one.
Adrian sent you. Did she look okay?
She's alive, but was injured trying to collect this delivery I've got for you.
Sounds like Adrian. Watch that woman lose a
Adrian.
digit trying to get a better tissue sample.
What? You can reattach a finger, Percy.
So what exactly did she have you bring me?
Yeah, Hadrian's the name I couldn't remember earlier. Sorry, Hadrian. It's a kind of a unique name, too. I'm shocked I wasn't able to remember it. Hadrian, like Hadrian's Wall, right? Hadrian. Terramorph cells from a world too young to have one. Yeah, I mean, all the, like, secondary dialogue options in this whole conversation have been jokes, which this guy definitely strikes me as the type that would appreciate the jokes. But, like, I want to, keep things serious because I'm here in serious business. Tau Gourmet Zone, free range, 100% human fed.
Just
Terramorph
talking to
cells.
myself, I guess.
That's right. Terramorph cells from a world too young to
Adrian
have one.
said that, huh? If she made you come all the way for this. Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Apparently he's got all his research equipment he needs right here, so... Is that a loading screen door, NPC? I guess it is. Alright, let's go into the Red Devils HQ. Oh, cool. This must be their military tag. I like it. Very cool. Oh yeah, I guess I have seen this version of it before. But it's more stylized here, and I dig it.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests. Oh,
don't touch
and Lou
anything.
mentioned how
Got
you
it.
took care of the debt. Can't say I'm thrilled the Trade Authority got their mitts on the research, but I guess that's the price you pay not to live in a cave the rest of your days.
Well, I had other options. Sorry if you're not a fan of the way I went about things.
All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all on a slate.
Oh, wow.
Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved.
He said Londinian. That's the big city that was just overrun by Terramorphs and destroyed. So it sounds like maybe the Terramorph on Tau Ceti is from Londinian? So Hadrian was mistaken? That sample's a concern? Oh, so Hadrian wasn't mistaken. That sample's a concern. You know how I am, gamers. I really want to ask this question. I want to see
Look,
if he'll
you
give
need
us some
time
more
to
lore.
process.
But this is the thing I want to say. I'd say this dialogue has like a 75% chance of just being a question, but like a solid 25 to 30% chance of advancing his dialogue. So I'm gonna click this, and if it advances his dialogue instead of bringing me back to this tree, we're gonna reload from the moment I entered the Red Devils HQ, okay? And y'all just gonna have to live with it, because I want to say this.
Not gonna bring this here and then
But I
leave
also
me
wanna
alone with my
ask this.
thoughts, are you?
So Hadrian wasn't mistaken? That sample's a
She was
concern?
disconcertingly correct, trying a little habit of Hadrian's. Which is why, if you wanted to have your film crew jump out and yell surprise, I wouldn't be saddened in the least.
Oh, perfect. That's the sample's not a fake. I collected it from the Terramorph myself.
Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample,
Sorry,
it's
man.
got all the indicators of the worst Terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian.
I have. Hadrian mentioned it. Sounds like quite the tragedy. I also know about it from the UC Vanguard Museum.
It was. An entire city wiped off the map. The swarms were so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any Terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-Terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
The chances for survival, let alone maintaining any kind of functioning society, would be slim indeed.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now?
This is really interesting. I love this lore we're getting. I gotta admit, I thought the UC Vanguard faction quest was gonna be boring compared to the other faction quests we've done. But I am really enjoying this. And if by the way, it at any points takes us to Londinian, if that's like a visitable location, I kind of doubt it is. But if it is, I'm going to be on cloud 9. That would be so fun. I may go back down to the
Drift off on me?
UC Vanguard. Relax for a second, Percival. I may go back down to the UC Vanguard Museum to check out that specific exhibit again. Just for a little bit of a refresher. Because it basically tells the whole story. And, well, obviously not the whole story. We're learning more details now, but it gives a good overview of what happened. Orders are to take you and that analysis to Hadrian. She should be waiting at the 6th circle. Right. I had completely forgotten that was the plan, but okay. Get your boots on. We're going to stop any more attacks before they start. We're leaving. Try not to slow me down. But you said Londinian... All right, but
Not
you said the
gonna bring this
Londinian
here
attack
and
was
then
massive.
leave me alone with my thoughts, are you?
1 second, Percival. But you said the Londinian attack was massive, right? Why is only one odd Terramorph so scary?
Because until now, the Terramorphs that wiped out Londinian had the good sense to stay put. What happened there? It was a tragedy, but at least it was contained. So to find evidence for a similar attack on a different world, well, we don't have enough information to know precisely what this means. But I doubt it's good. So I'd love to know what it is you're planning from here.
Okay. But you said the Londinian attack was massive, right? Why is one odd Terramorph so scary? Decided to read that one more time because I definitely added extra words in there every time I read it. Orders are to take you and that analysis to Hadrian. She should be waiting at the 6th circle.
The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, faster to take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Dr. Percival Walker is now following you. Red Devil's HQ key added. So there's another shortcut elevator from here to the surface. Y'all have a lot of those going on, huh? I don't mean to be that guy, but I definitely, like, there's no way the entire Red Devil's HQ. Look at this. They got quite the setup here. We've got a industrial workbench, a research slab, whatever the heck all this is, a secure door. I feel like there's a lot more to this place. I really, really want to look around before just bailing. Another secure access door. All the security doors and stuff lead me to believe we're going to be coming back here at some point. This is going to become like a base of operations for dealing with the new Terramorph threat, I think. The way it's set up. Like, this place was not just like... It's too big of a set piece to be designed for you to just meet this scientist dude here. Well, look at these cells. Cells are for sure going to hold Terramorphs we've captured for study at some point. There's no way that they don't. Look, we got more cells over here behind more security doors that we can't open. Number 3, huh? All of this is for me to say, like, maybe it's silly for me to be taking the time to search this place right now. Ah, see, this is why. I had my spidey sense was tingling that there's got to be a magazine around this place somewhere. Ship particle weapons, which is what I primarily use, permanently deal 5% more damage. That is huge for us. With the way I play the game, that is a huge upgrade. I need to build myself a new ship for this new part of my playthrough. I'm still using the one I ended the game with, which is good. It allows me to have a huge crew with me, which is nice. But I do feel like I can do better now. I've been experimenting more with shipbuilding on my second playthrough, and I've made some really sweet designs that I'd love to refine further. Alright, I'm feeling pretty satisfied right now with my look around. There's clearly things I've missed.
The biggest surprise is not that the UC engaged in xeno warfare in the past, but that they ever stopped. I would have expected them to very quietly keep this place open.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you, Andrea. I'm really tempted to go out that door. It's a loading screen door. Holding cell C. Oh, right, so these really were the places they held, like, animals for xeno warfare research and stuff. I have a feeling someone in the UC is still doing Xeno weapons research and mech research and AI research and all that. Mars Research Facility XW. Wait, is XW actually Roman numerals for something? I mean, I know X is 10. But, and I feel like W is like also a Roman numeral thing, just that I never pay attention to Roman numeral numbers that are that high, so. Meet Hadrian at the 6th Circle. Yeah, I mean, we might as well fast travel at this point. I just wanted to get a little look at, like...
Be careful not to launch yourself into space. Or the ceiling.
Wanted to get a look at where this was leading up to on the surface. Let's do it. Back to Cydonia we go. Once I finish this part of the quest, I do want to try talking to Andrea. Last video was entirely about her stuff, but where we left it was that she was going to be thinking about what would be appropriate for like a wedding ceremony for us, since we come from such different cultures. I mean, I'm happy with whatever she wants. Like, we can go full Great Serpent wedding, as far as I'm concerned, but she wanted to incorporate some, like, settled systems wedding traditions in, for my sake, even though I didn't ask for that. Speak of the devil, Hadrian.
Is that really her? Hadrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
Oh. Guess they're waiting for me to initiate the conversation. I was just like, is there a way to shut this door? I guess not.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble.
I don't like any of these dialogue options. Too much trouble is exactly how I'd describe the experience I just had. It was no walk in the park. A little more gunfire than I usually like on my delivery jobs, but nothing I couldn't manage.
Well, that's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2,
that's fair.
They want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us.
Also fair. Right. So we have some backstory about all this. Basically, the Armistice Archives are a place that was established where all the research and data pertaining to the things outlawed by the Armistice, which includes xeno-warfare, includes mechs, and I think AI is the third thing, although I keep forgetting exactly what it is. But there were like some technologies that were outlawed as part of the Armistice Agreement. So they created this thing called the Armistice Archives. We definitely need to go back down to that UC Vanguard Museum because it has a lot of good like world building down there that's very pertinent to what's going on in this quest. I think that was the whole point of making you go through there. I mean, they didn't make you go through there. It was an optional objective, but it's part of the UC Vanguard, like, as you're joining. They encourage you to go through there. So I think we'll take a trip back down there, especially if we're headed to New Atlantis, which it sounds like we are. But essentially there was this whole thing about, like, and I'm going to have to, I mean, we're going to go back there, so I'm going to read it again anyway, but it has something to do with, like,
Still
the
with
Armistice
us?
Archives can only be accessed if it's agreed upon by by all 3 factions, which is House Varun, which I don't know how that could possibly happen, but also the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies. I haven't heard of the Cabinet before, but I assume that's like the Armistice, like, I don't know, peacekeeping organization of some sort. I don't know why I'm giving all this exposition when, like, these 2 questions, I think,
What's wrong?
are going to have this character give the exposition for us. What's the Armistice Archives, and what's it have to do with the Freestar Collective and House Varun?
Well, when the colony war came to a close 19 years ago, with the signing of the armistice, 3 factions were involved in the negotiations. The UC, Freestar, and House Varun. They made a lot of decisions about what sort of tactics should and shouldn't be permitted in future conflicts. All information related to the things they decided should be banned was locked away in the archives. Now, it's possible to get things out of there, but only with the agreement of members from all 3 factions. And as to what our research is doing in there, well, I'll get to that.
Right. Han, you don't need to, like, you don't need to be pressed about it. Like, I know you were doing xenoweapons research. I feel like we've already discussed this. Like, I don't... Whatever. This NPC is acting like we didn't already know that, so we'll just pretend. The Cabinet,
The
what's
Cabinet's
that?
the UC's highest governing body. The President, top military brass,
Oh, so that's
scientific
UC
and
exclusive.
diplomatic division heads.
Gotcha.
Any major decision the UC makes goes through them. They're the only real chance we've got of unlocking the archives. So without their blessing, we're flying blind.
Yeah, so this thing bothered me about the Armistice Archives, because in the Colony Wars, I mean, I know all 3 of those factions sat down and came up with the Armistice Agreement and, you know, agreed on all the conditions for future conflicts and whatnot. But very significantly, the Freestar Collective won the Colony War. they were able to negotiate a lot of things because they were victorious at the end of things. So it's bothered me.
What's wrong?
And maybe we'll find out through this questline why it came to be this way. But it bothered me that the Armistice Archives ended up being in New Atlantis. Because, like, it was this whole big deal about how you need, like she just said, you need permission from all three factions in order to access them and access the data that's contained within them. But, like, I feel like it's such a huge mistake to have the UC in charge of basically running the place. Like, I've been down in the Armistice Archives. It's UC security all over the place. I mean, I guess they're called, like, Armistice Guards or something like that. But
Still
it's, like,
with us?
it's in New Atlantis. It's in a building in New Atlantis. Like, if the UC decided to continue researching those illegal things, they could, and no one would know. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Mast hasn't already been doing so. If all you need is someone to charm some higher-ups, I'm your guy. I think I'm going to play a little bit hardball here. I like the sound of this dialogue option. Doesn't sound like any run-of-the-mill data you're after. I'll take that explanation
Of course.
now.
You deserve the full story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were
Xenoweapons
military
research.
scientists. Ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place
Right,
I was
xenoweapons.
hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts
even
at other
Andrea knew
facilities,
that's what it was
the
used for.
place
Like, she
eventually
made a
became
comment.
the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. You need some time?
I actually know who you are, and your past, well, that's none of my concern. Like, yeah, I knew that. Still doesn't explain what this terramorph data is doing in the archives. I mean, it doesn't, though, right? I really want to say this, but I also really want to say this. Was wondering if you were ever going to share that nugget with me. Then what does that make you two now? Is the UC going to throw me in prison for helping you? No, that seems like a silly thing to ask.
You need some time?
I mean, I know they were trying to use terramorphs in xeno-warfare. The one experiment we read about at that base that I was talking about at the beginning of this video was a complete failure. Ended up resulting in the death of several scientists. And even acquiring the xenomorph, the Marine team that went in after it, the Red Devils team, actually, I believe, suffered casualties. Yeah, I think we'll say this. Still doesn't explain what this terramorph data is doing in
Well,
the
it was
archives.
during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to
Okay.
prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it.
Well, I mean, like, I don't feel like she was intentionally keeping anything from us. And when we pressed her, she opened up. So I like her. I don't know why. Like, my character in this game clearly has some sort of issue, but me personally, the gamer, I like her. And why should I trust you with this data? How do I know it's not dangerous? why wouldn't the cabinet agree to help us?
I mean, I hope they will, given the evidence we've acquired. But getting the Freestar Collective and House Varun on our side, that won't be easy.
Since neither group is exactly on great terms with the UC at the moment, for various reasons.
Exactly. It's going to mean negotiations and deals and plenty of diplomatic legwork to see this through. But I don't see a better option to solving what's going on here. So it's going to be up to us to get them on board.
Yeah, it's interesting. She says, like, neither of them are on particularly good terms with the UC right now, so that's going to be the stumbling block. But I feel like if we're coming at them with, like, two former xenoweapons researchers, like, these guys are going to be enemy number one for the Freestar Collective and House Varun. I can't think of any information I have about what House Varun's involvement in the colony wars was. I don't remember there being any. I've heard of, like, the Serpent's Crusade a little bit.
Still with us?
But that was like House Varun against both of the factions. Okay, then let's go talk to this cabinet.
Right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck.
Okay.
You two are gonna need it.
And just what
You're not
is
coming
on your
personally?
mind at this moment?
Meet Hadrian in New Atlantis Mast District. Oh, and this is a brand new quest. Hadrian said she'll be waiting for me outside of Mast in New Atlantis. So, I mean, first of all, let's just go. We're going to dive right into the next part of, or the next quest in this faction series of quests. I do want to speak to Andrea and see if she's ready to marry me, I guess.
I have never quite been able to think of New Atlantis as home. Though I suppose I should.
But the primary thing on my mind right now is getting back down to that museum. And I'm wondering if it's possible to, because I see Hadrian right there. And I wonder if it's possible to avoid Hadrian so I can get to the elevator. Let's do a manual save since it's been a hot minute since I have. And we're gonna see how possible it is to
Captain,
avoid Hadrian.
over here.
Alright, well, the answer is not possible at all. So let's go talk to her. Oh. Alright, well, she says, Captain, over here, and waves you over, but it looks like I can just pretend I didn't see or hear her and be super rude and just go do this. Yeah, Vanguard Orientation Hall, I believe, is the one I'm thinking of. So it's not even like a proper museum open to the public. It's specifically for new recruits. Although no, I saw some like citizens down here just taking in the museum. I remember there was a little girl that was like, I want to join the Freestar Collective when I grow up or something. The end of Earth, which we now know is just a complete fabrication, because we know what really happened. Quite interestingly. Hello? Just a patron, museum patron. New factions rise. House Varun. Freestar Collective. Alright, the Serpent's Crusade we can learn more about here. Might be good to get a little refresher on that conflict. But there's something very specific. Conflict among the stars, I think this is all about the colony war. You know, from the UC perspective, of course. Very heavy propaganda. We've got the Battle of Nira. The Terror of Londinian, though. That's what we're really here for.
I bring her here almost every day to stare at this thing.
Dad wanted me to apply for the administration track at school, but I'm going to be a xenobiologist. It's science division or nothing.
Yeah, you stick to your dreams, kid. Don't let your dad decide for you. Look at this thing. Definitely terrifying looking when you see them all like articulated like this.
You know it was some UC general that condemned Londinian? Gave it over to these things. One of these murals said he was executed after the war. Might have gotten off too lightly.
Wow. Look at that world building we got as a random NPC line. But yeah, let's get a reminder about exactly what happened with... Oh, these guys have a ton of interesting stuff to say. Let's,
I really hope this is just a phase.
One of my slates said terramorphs can control people's minds. But that can't be true.
This thing's like an artist's rendition, right? No animal can be this ugly in real life.
No one knows how they move between planets. I wonder if they can grav jump or something.
I really hope this is just a phase.
No one knows how they move between planets.
All right, we're on
I wonder if they can
repeats
grav
now.
jump or something.
Anyway.
In the midst of the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies' war effort, Londinian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph.
All right, I paused the game because I don't think this registered with me before. The disaster at Londinian happened in the middle of the colony war, so very recently in galactic history. I mean, we're talking like, I think the colony war was like 50 years ago in this timeline, something like that. Somewhere between 50 and 100 years back. Maybe even less than that. It might even be like 30 years ago. I don't know. Not that long ago is the point. And this slideshow, this presentation thing just said that New Londinian was sort of established as like a manufacturing hub, for the things needed for the war effort. Here's my theory. I just want to throw this out there. I think Hadrian and this other scientist aren't being completely forthcoming with me. I think they might be partially responsible for the Londinian disaster themselves. I think the UC was doing some sketchy xeno warfare experiments in like some new laboratory they established on Londinian. And they genetically engineered terramorphs to like grow much faster than they usually would. But like their research got out of control and caused hundreds of terramorphs or whatever to spawn near Londinian, and then, you know, they destroyed the city and stuff. But now they're seeing that that genetic mutation has made it out. That's why Hadrian was so obsessed with that rumor, and has probably been on the lookout for those sorts of reports about terramorphs, because she's been living her whole life feeling guilt for what they did on Londinian that led to so many deaths. And she's just like, hoping and praying that genetic mutation doesn't make it out off of that planet. I do want to, I hope this presentation, mentions what planet or what system Londinian was in, because I feel like I've forgotten that. But already, just the first slide of this presentation here sort of blew my mind. I'm like, oh my god, that's right. It's like a
rare but
critical
pervasive
supply
threat
center.
to all human-settled worlds. Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history.
Yeah, seemingly out of nowhere,
Efforts
huh?
by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable. Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londinian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londinian is mourned by the UC to this day.
Dad wanted me to apply for the administration track at school, but I'm going to be a xenobiologist. It's science division.
In the midst of the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies war effort.
Newly constructed but
found
critical
itself
supply center
overrun
for
by
the
one of
United Colonies
galaxy's most
war effort.
mysterious predators, the Terramorph.
And then in this next slide is another
Rare but
significant
pervasive
line.
threat to all human-settled worlds.
Terramorphs swept over the city seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in history. Wow. We're for sure finding out that this was some UC experiment gone wrong, and that's why they need their data out of the archives. Because they still know more than they're letting on here. I think they know exactly what terramorphs are, which my theory remains that they're like mutated humans in some way. And I think they found a way to trigger that mutation. And their plan was to develop a weapon that would cause a bunch of Free Star soldiers or whatever to mutate suddenly and turn into terramorphs. So it would make it an easy win, and the colony wars could decimate an entire planet in a matter of moments. But then their research ended up backfiring and actually destroying Londinian, which may have led to the UC losing the war, honestly, losing that major hub for their war effort in the middle of the war, and then the Free Star Collective ended up winning. I mean, wow. I'm really excited to see where this quest leads us. I feel like it's becoming very juicy. And I see no reason to stop yet. Let's talk to Adrian.
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My
All right,
relationship
Adrian, I'm
with the
listening.
UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated.
Whoa.
In Old Earth Latin. a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Holy crap. Talk about a mind-blowing that was not, I was fully like braced and prepared for mind-blowing revelations to come out of Hadrian's mouth. But I just like still completely caught off guard by that. What the heck? We know a lot about Vevictus. The bartender at the den believes Vevictus got a raw deal at the end of the Colony Wars. I mean, that's what that guy was talking about down in the exhibit. Vevictus was prosecuted for his crimes and I think executed or like thrown in jail, thrown in prison for all of his war crimes. But some people in the UC still view him as sort of a folk hero almost. And she's a clone of him apparently. And there's too much weird turns that this story is taking. I can't.
You doing okay?
Struggling to wrap my. Are there others from your program still out there? Other
I'm the
clones?
last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
I mean, it's just a switch of a chromosome, you know. I feel like this is a really ignorant question to ask her. But I do want to hear what she has to say, so I'm going to click it anyway. You're a clone of a man? How's that work?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels. But there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
I've actually had some experience with cloning myself, or with cloning before. Outside of the UC, of course. Yeah, because of the Crucible, and I've got a clone on my crew right now, Amelia Earhart. This Vevictus must have been an impressive commander for the UC to want to clone him. I mean, also a war criminal. I'm more interested in what this has to do with us addressing the cabinet. I mean, I am, but how can I resist saying this dialogue that might be unique to someone who's already done the Crucible
Nerves kicking in?
side quest? I've actually had some experience with cloning before outside the UC.
You have? I mean, it's old technology. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Some independent group might have managed to figure it out again. But in my case, it complicates things. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a
War
part of the
crimes.
reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Well, I appreciate you being forthcoming, Hadrian. And you're not your father. Just like I said to the clones in the Crucible. Although Genghis Khan sure reverted to his clone's mentality once I gave him his freedom, but they don't have to. Like, you don't have to. I believe in nature over nurture. Or no, wait. The opposite of that. I believe in nurture over nature. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, civilian casualties and stuff, man. Just want to throw this out there.
Thought you deserved to know.
Apropos of nothing, definitely not referencing any current events. But things that are considered war crimes under international law, any government that's responsible for them should be completely dismantled. Just apropos of nothing. I mean, I feel like she already covered this, but yeah, what did your father do to merit being executed?
He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the colony war to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him.
Yeah, the firing at the civilian ships that were fleeing sounds a lot like collective punishment, which is a war crime. Any government out there that's engaging in collective punishment and you know, bombing civilians and stuff like that should not exist. Apropos of nothing. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, wow, and I thought my family was messed up. No, so you're using me to distract them. Great. Not sure I can blame them. This family of yours doesn't sound like they were paragons of virtue.
Nerves kicking in?
No, of course, you're not your father. If the cabinet doesn't see that, it's their problem, not yours.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already.
Holding a grudge against where a person comes from, that is both ignorant and cruel.
Just the way things are sometimes. You know, while we've got a second,
wow,
was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Oh, interesting. So she's like, you're about to get sucked into some heavy story stuff. So if you want to do other quests for a bit, now is the time. No, that's fine. Andrea liked that. I knew she would, because she's big on, like, she feels really guilty about her past and doesn't want to be judged based on it. So me saying, like, you're not, you know, you're not your past. You're free to make your own decisions, and your past shouldn't be held against you, type of thing. Andrea definitely vibes with that, and it popped up that she wants to talk to me. So I think we might be finally ready to get married, but I don't want to. I feel like this is like an awkward spot to put this faction quest on hold. It's getting really interesting, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go attend this cabinet meeting, at the very least, even if it does suck me into a bunch of craziness. Right, I can say hold on, I can say no questions. So honestly, what are the risks of us accessing this data? I mean, I understand what the risks are. Your eyes, they're red. Is that the result of the cloning process? No, that's the result of being a miner on Mars. I'm not going to ask that dumb question. Are you willing to tell me any more about your father?
We never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being fleet admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy, perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too.
But Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life.
So he was executed for his crimes. Interesting. Any suggestions on what I should say to the cabinet?
It's hard to know exactly what might sway them. I'd just be honest about what you saw. A colony wiped out, and a lot of lives lost. Something we don't want anyone else to have to experience.
Yeah, that's good advice. So honestly, what are the risks of us accessing this
I
data?
strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I know I had this big theory about how the research they were doing in Londinian led to the disaster, but I don't think Hadrian was involved. I'm starting to lean towards maybe her being... I mean, even though she's apparently a clone of Victus, I don't think she is aware of what was going on, even if she was like tangentially connected to it. Don't have any
Then
questions.
I guess
no.
it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
If you are free soon,
Sounds like our cue.
could we talk?
Here we go.
Yes, Andrea, I know you want to talk, but it's not the time. I'm like going to purposely deselect that so it doesn't continuously confuse me. I know you're ready to talk about our marriage, but... or our wedding, but like... important business to take care of, dear. We just got called into the cabinet meeting. Can you
Aren't you
wait,
the one who
please?
saw running
Thank
away
you.
from that crazy guy? Man, New Atlantis gets weirder by the day.
Yep, that was me. Are you just gonna go poof? Yeah, okay.
Before
So I'm
I say
actually gonna-
anything else, I wanted
Damn
to
it!
thank you for giving me time. When I first came here, I never expected that I would meet you or feel this way about you. That we would end up here together. I know that you told me you were not going anywhere, but I still worried, if only a little, that my asking for time to think would be a problem. There is no precedent for any of this. A romantic relationship not within the bounds of Barun culture, I mean. I wanted to attempt to honor that culture nonetheless.
I did not mean to click on you, Andrea. I did not want to have this conversation during the middle of this quest. It is such bad timing. It is such an immersion breaker. Like, can you not? I don't even have an option here to be like, let's talk about this later. Actually, maybe I do have an option for that.
Take care of yourself.
I just want to check and make sure I didn't just screw up things with Andrea. Alright, so I still have talked to Andrea on here. Alright, I'm going to be very careful. We're going to click the elevator button instead of her. I want to actually go back down to the orientation hall. I assume she's going to repeat that dialogue when we talk to her again.
I wish to discuss with you.
At least I hope so.
This thing's like an artist.
There was another exhibit here that I think... Yeah, the Armistice. Here we go. I feel like this will be a fitting thing to... get just a little refresher on the world building that's associated with what we're about to
After
deal
the
with.
devastation wrought by the Colony War, the UC and the Freestar Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces, and that xeno-weapons and mech warfare would be outlawed.
Oh, so it was just xeno-weapons and mech
All
warfare.
related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency.
Kind of like the one we're in right
But
now.
the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions.
Including Ve Victus.
The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In
It's a little bit of propaganda
2311,
there,
three United Colonies senior officers were found guilty.
Give me the names.
Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last.
After everything,
Yeah,
it is almost
Francois.
impossible to believe that the armistice happened. But I admit I am glad it did. The settled systems have benefited.
It's interesting. I kind of want to run through this whole museum with Andrea in tow because she has some like opinions about this stuff. Very interesting to hear. I don't mean to be so mean to you, Andrea. I do want to marry you. It's just it's not the time. It's not the time for that. We have very important things that we're dealing with, life and death things. Like our wedding can wait. As much as I love you, dear. Right. So I forgot that his real name was. I remember him as Ve Victus because that's what everyone refers to him as. But Francois Sanon, if I had remembered that was his actual name, I might have caught on sooner that Sanon was maybe related to him in some way. I mean, I probably would have never guessed a clone, but like... Yeah, and this is significant, but I don't know if I can... How did I read this before? With this, I think. There, by order of the Armistice, Article 1361A, there shall be established a central archive guarded by 3 parties, but weirdly in New Atlantis for some reason. The Freestar Collective, House Varun, and the United Colonies for the collection and protection of all knowledge, research, and documentation depicting, describing, or in any way related to technologies and mechanisms banned by this armistice. It shall be governed by the following laws. Access to all information in this archive will be mutually managed by all 3 parties. I still don't know how we're going to reach out to House Varun about this. Access is only permitted by unanimous agreement of authorized factional representatives. 2. The facility will be under the direct control of no sovereign faction, even though it's here in New Atlantis, with no single party permitted to overrule the others. All decisions regarding matters pertaining to the archives must be unanimous. 3. Any attempt at unauthorized access will be considered an act of aggression against all parties. Each party commits to defend the others against any such attempts. This is a really interesting document. It's like I don't know if it's meant to be like I can't, like, this hurts my eyes to try and read it without the gun scope. That's all. That's what I wanted to come down here and get the little refresher. I knew there was more down here I want to remember. But now we have a cabinet meeting to attend. Cabinet Chambers Interstellar Affairs. I don't think I've ever taken this stop on the elevator before. I think it's maybe usually restricted. Maybe I'm just misremembering. The Office of Interstellar Affairs is there. I assume the conference room is up there in this really fancy, elaborate looking room. So let's, I mean, and that's where the quest objective is. So let's go, of course, the opposite direction first. Authorized personnel only. Security monitoring on premises.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Masked functionary, masked functionary. Nothing here, really. Someone's fancy office with a giant desk.
Hey.
Masked functionary, masked functionary. So no named NPCs in here as far as I can tell. Ooh, you look like you have a name. Deputy Elizabeth McIntyre.
This is not a public space. The opposite, really.
Hello. Nova Galactic Manual 3 permanently reduces fuel needed for a grav jump by an additional 1%. It's a nice permanent upgrade. I like it. I knew my instinct was right to come and look in this office. I've got those gamer instincts, you know.
Yes?
Masked functionary, masked functionary. So no named NPCs here except for that one. We've got functionary Gershon's computer, which requires a key to unlock. Let's click on it to see what key. Oh, this is unlocked elsewhere. Interesting. Are you Gershon? No. But no, nothing special on her. Just steal. No key cards or anything. I think we're pretty good. Since I got that magazine, let me just do a manual save. Probably here. Oh, wow, fancy. Real tribunal
welcome.
going on here.
You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Thank you, Abeo. Ma'am. Thanks don't keep my ship fueled, ma'am. You can be so greedy if you want to in the dialogue options in this game. It's hilarious. Just following orders is like the lamest line in all of history. So Hadrian made it clear that addressing this issue required the utmost urgency.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today.
We found the hater, Yasin.
So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Yeah,
Now,
that
Captain,
last one.
we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
I'd be happy to. Thank you, Abeo. We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data. We need the archival data to find a way to stop a possible Terramorph apocalypse. I mean, true, but that's a little sensationalized. I'm just here to talk about what happened. Hadrian's the one with the grand plans. That's not going to go over well. Remind me of what's kept in these archives? That question also not going to go over well.
Listen, compose your thoughts. You let us know when you're ready.
Oh, thank you. You're much more patient and understanding than most NPCs, and I appreciate that. Shoot. Wow, this feels like a really important dialogue choice, but I'm really torn. Like, I feel like this is a little overblown, but I feel like this is underselling the importance. I think this is the best of options here. We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data.
That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we?
She is really well spoken.
And while there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties. Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt
Are we going to
consider
ever get an opportunity to
data?
explain what was unique about that
I
attack?
don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you? Captain?
I mean, the honest truth is it seemed like any other Terramorph I fought in the game. It was pretty tough. Definitely a bullet sponge, but like they usually are. Since this one was around my level, it felt especially so. And I think it was meant to be taken out by turrets also as like a gimmicky thing, so that probably played into it. So this first thing's true, but it doesn't get to the main point. This does. I only know, but it's like this first part of the line is weak. I still think this is the best choice, though. I only know what I was told.
Intimidating.
It's tissue.
I understand.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Bayo, though. You're very nice. Even though you're currently against us. I only know what I was told. It's tissue matched ones from Londinium.
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Yeah. Oh, this is the president? I didn't even realize that. Oh yeah, President of Bayo. I knew that. I think I've even like encountered her in her actual office before. Madame President, if it were me, I wouldn't grant their request. The archives are sealed for a reason. Personally, I would wait. We don't yet have enough information yet. That's bad grammar.
Captain?
Yes, if the fear is the data being weaponized, the Terramorph program failed. The data is not dangerous. I know this was what Hadrian recommended I go with, but it's feeling inappropriate. If there's a chance what happened on Tau Ceti could happen elsewhere, We need to grant the request.
Whatever risks exist, they are outweighed by this imminent threat. I agree. The request should be granted.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Thank you,
Well, I
Kukanori
am
and
not.
Logan.
I've heard nothing here to convince me that we should do anything but wait. And I will not risk galactic peace on a question of if.
Yes, a fair assessment, Chief Diplomat. So then, while the data you two have presented is compelling, I think we can safely say it's insufficient for the level of action you've requested. Perhaps once we... What was that?
Attention.
Can we speak for a moment?
An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Kukanori is
There
on
must
our
be
side.
another
You know,
explanation.
we just met.
The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain,
Yes,
I'm
Madam
right behind
President.
you. Let's get down there.
The
There are so
UC's
many
fleet
different
must be
routes
the
across the
strongest
solar
out
systems,
there.
it's hard to
Now and always. There is no alternative.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, this is exciting. It's also a bit... Man, I keep going back and forth on this, but I feel like Hadrian is super sussy right now.
The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
Please! I can't!
What is happening right now? I heard you, the EM rifle, grab it.
Now hit him with everything
Like,
you've
okay.
Please don't! This is not me! Not me!
One less target. Come on! You thought you
What
could
is
win?
happening? Hello? EM weapon collected. Time to put this hostile citizenry to sleep? Incapacitate the attack. I should have looked at my quest log when... Ooh, in fact, I bet it's not too late to do that. Hold on. I'm just very confused by what just happened. So I'm going to replay it so that I can get a better idea of what's going on. Because I was ready to go to the spaceport and fight xenomorphs. No, go to the spaceport and fight terramorphs. I don't know. I can't speak tonight, but but I was not expecting like random citizens to be attacking UC security when I got off that the elevator in the NAT station. Like, what is happening? But I will say that this dovetails nicely with my theory that terramorphs are humans that have been like, oh, we just heard that thing from the little girl in the museum, right? She said that she read on her slate that terramorphs could mind control humans. Is that what's happening? I need to find an EM weapon so I can knock out these hostiles. Well, we didn't get much more in the way of lore for that. Oh, my brain is broken right now. What am I? This. They want me to use this.
That's it. Now hit it with everything you've got. Stop! We're trying to help you!
Please! I can't stop!
Train for it! Ah!
Alright, I'm waiting for my quest to catch up because it, like, skipped a few steps there. Incapacitate the attackers. I have, haven't I?
Don't
you okay?
kill them!
I didn't? Hello? Hello? Are there more attackers? Is it bugged out?
It's in my head! Get it out! Get it out!
Lights out on that one!
Oh, okay. So I need to fill up the blue bars so that they're actually incapacitated and not just in this down state. I was so confused by... I don't understand why this is even necessary. Can't we put handcuffs on them while they're down? Get some zip tie action going?
I will not be...
Oh, I should really listen to what the citizens are saying when they're up.
What are you doing?
Andrea, dear, I'm trying to listen to what they have to say. Could you not? Andrea! God damn, lady.
Come then. Meet your death.
Andrea's not going to let me
And once
listen
again,
to this NPC's dialogue,
we are
unfortunately.
triumphant.
Andrea, I'm not trying to be triumphant right now. This is such a scuffed quest objective. Okay. They're all still alive, right? No one died? Jeez. What a scuffed quest. I think having Andrea with me is like...
Thank God that's over with.
The main problem with what's making this quest like bug out. So as soon as humanly possible, we're gonna send Andrea away. Because she's causing some trouble. But the problem is right now, if I talk to her, she's gonna start making wedding plans, and I'm not gonna have the opportunity to just send her away. So it's a rough situation all around. Okay. The hostiles have been dealt with. I should talk to the guards to figure out what happened here.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic
some of the
projection.
UC security has been caught up.
Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to.
Wow.
They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Someone comes at me, I'm putting them down. So does this mean I need to worry about you turning on me?
I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible. So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there.
Are you suggesting Terramorphs can control someone's mind?
I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them, but still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the Terramorph.
Sounds like we need to hustle.
Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
I will, ma'am. Don't you worry. Crazy. That's so nuts. That was so cool that we got that line of dialogue from that girl in the museum about Terramorphs being able to control people's minds. So it sounds like what is about to happen at the spaceport, as anxious as I am, I'm like excited to click that button. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty involved, complicated endeavor. Not just me running in and gunning down some Terramorphs, but me having to stun certain UC security people and do fancy stuff to avoid casualties. So I think this is a good spot, even though it's quite the cliffhanger. I think this is a good spot to end the video. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll pick it up right here next time. I think I'm pretty locked into this quest whether I like it or not, so we'll definitely be picking up at this exact frame in the next video. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, have a fantastic day.